Sushil Teotia. He is the Assistant Vice President Sales for Domestic Air Treatment Business of Bry-Air Asia Private Limited. He has an experience of over 2 decades of consultative and solution selling experience across various industrial segments and in the field of strategic planning and management, business development, channel management, etc. He has extensively worked in compressed air and liquid filtration systems, air purification systems, desiccant and refrigerant dryers, IoT offerings, and many more. Coming with an engineering background, Mr. Teotia holds a master's in business administration. Today, Mr. Sushil will talk about importance of humidity control in cold storage. So delegates, let's welcome Mr. Sushil.
So as shared in my earlier presentations that a cold chain and logistics, these are two important aspects in the entire value chain from harvesting to the point of sales. So these are very two important processes, and where from Bry-Air we played a very important role in cold storages. Because this is one of the area which directly impact the food wastage, the life of the product, and that consumes the maximum energy. Broadly, if you see, the cold storages are divided into two sub-parts. One is the active cold storage and second is the passive cold storage. In both storage activities, role of moisture is very important. In active cold storages, generally we refrigerate warehouse for a very frequent usages, that is generally on daily basis and regular basis. And we maintain different temperature zones within one facility. And a typical example is like ice cream, frozen foods. In a passive cold storage, we are storing the perishable goods for a medium and long time period. And a typical example for this are the fruits, vegetable, and seeds. And in these two applications, we have to maintain the moisture levels differently. The requirements are different and the application area is totally different. So as I shared with you, the humidity is the biggest enemy in the cold chain, and that plays a very important role and it directly affects the product quality. In the case of active cold storages, we are operating on a day-to-day basis and frequently. If a moisture level is high in the environment, it directly impacts the final quality of the product, and ultimately that have a negative impact on the customer satisfaction. Excessive moisture create a lot of safety issues, which I'm going to talk in my coming slides, that have a negative impact on product handling and creates a poor working environment, and ultimately cost us in terms of wasted manpower, man hours, and productivity. And to maintain that entire facility, we have to put a lot of men and machines that ultimately increase our expenses, and a direct reflections are our energy bills. In the same way, in a passive cold storages, the humidity control is the requirement of product. We cannot live without that. We will not dry the product before the storage, or we will not maintain in that environment for a longer time. We can not keep that product for a longer time in the storage facility. So fungi development might start, growth might start on the product, and maybe other losses you might start visualizing on your product storages. So next example is the seed storage for the passive control, as I shared with you. And there generally the storage time is very high because these are the seasonal crop which comes and we have to maintain for a long time as per the market requirement. Generally, what we observe in the market for a cold storage, the current way we are operating or we are doing, people experience a lot of wet flows and ice buildup on the walls. That is primarily because of the excess moisture present in the air inside the conditioned environment. And that is damaging the entire setup. Ice building happens on evaporative coils, or if ice building happens on the evaporative coils, that directly impact the cooling efficiency of that particular machine. So we have to stop the entire evaporative coils in between, and we have to first complete the defrosting activity there. So that sometime creates further disturbances in the entire system. And along with that, the moisture start depositing on the product which we are storing inside the cold chain, and that is clearly visible on the cardboard contours. And sometimes some fog formations start happening on the inside the room also. We have tried to illustrate it in this picture how these conditions are typically present in the cold storage is, you can see there is a fog formation happening at a point where the loading deck and the conditioned area are meeting with each other. That is primarily tells us a clear moisture difference between the outside condition and inside conditions. And because of not right control of the moisture, you can see on the top of this picture, there is an ice crystal formation. That is another problem which industry observes. And excess of all these things creates a wet flow. You might have seen these kind of situations also in the cold storages sometime. This is a clear reflection of moisture, excessive moisture presence inside the conditioned areas. Then I will talk a little bit about the passive cold storages. Earlier, I talked about the active, where we are operating on day-to-day basis. Every day, either one time, two time, we are opening the doors. So that means those facilities are exposed to the environment, moisture conditions very frequently. In passive cold storage, we are not opening the facilities frequently. This is after a particular period of time, but there, the life of my storage product is directly impacting with the moisture content available in the air. So there is a formula of 100 generally we follows in the seed storage areas. There's the sum total of degree Fahrenheit and RH. It's a typical formula followed by across the industry, how to maintain the conditions inside the seed storage facilities. And as I shared with you, all these symptoms put an additional cost, damage the goods which we are storing inside the cold storage, and create a risk in the work environment, and of course increase the downtime. And there is another factor which we cannot avoid. There are certain applications where we do not have any on door or a secondary room prior to storage facility. So or maybe the opening time or closure time of the door is very high. That is allowing the entire moisture to entering again inside the room, and that is disturbing the entire facility maintained by our entire system installed there. So to prevent all these situations which we observe in the market, in our cold chain applications, we recommend to use our demodifier applications. Demodifier can prevent all these possibilities of icing, frosting, and can do a very precise moisture control management inside the warehouse facility. And it's a very energy efficient solutions also. And we are giving solutions to various cold chain OEMs. Along with the consultants, we are working very closely industry with them to provide the solutions as per their product requirements. At the areas where we have to open the doors very frequently, or the door is open for a longer time, there is another solution which we provide to our customer. It's a air curtain in a combination of dehumidifier. So the air curtain is provided on the top of the door, and the dehumidifier air comes in that curtain, and that eliminate the possibilities or minimize the possibilities of mixing of an air, outside air, along with the air which is present inside the room. And it's a very, very effective solution. This is one of the photographs where we have installed a dehumidifier, and there are no fogging or ice formations problems in those areas, and they are really very effective and maintain our hygiene conditions. Before closing my presentation, I would like to run a 1-minute video that will summarize my presentation also. Sorry, I hope it's now audible.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, thank you.